everyone. I'm Crystal. Welcome to Crystal's Creations. I know you saw the thumbnail, holiday headaches, but this is one of my favorite times of year. And even if you don't celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa traditions, it's still a wonderful time to get together and celebrate just being with our loved ones, in particular with all that's gone on over the last year or two. For some of us, in spite of all of the jingle bells, turkey, and gatherings, it can be a stressful time of year. So what I wanted to do today was share some of the tips that I've learned to protect my health. Holiday safety plan, if you will. I've shared in the past video that for many years I was a social worker and an advocate for domestic and sexual violence survivors. And one of the things I used to work on was a safety plan. And so I'm familiar with that format, so I'm sharing this as my version of a holiday safety plan that you might take some inspiration from to make sure that you're protecting your health, both physical and emotional health, during the holiday season. I'll begin by sharing my list of 6 tips that might be helpful to you. Tip number 1, the holidays are a lot of work, both physical and emotional. And I'll share information on a really great podcast that talks about emotional labor down in the description area, because I think it's important to watch, especially for ladies. It takes a lot of time, planning, and energy to create that magic we all think about during the holiday season. Tip number 2, recognize that unless you're a professional party planner or interior designer, perfection is not the goal. Togetherness is. So even though my bread maker may turn on during this video, or Oscar may run by with one of his stuffed animals, I'm going to keep going so that you can get these tips. Perfection? No. Peaceful, joyful holidays. Let's try to make that. If someone comes to your home and they're taking notice of something that's not perfect, if your baseboards aren't perfectly clean, my suggestion is to hand them a sponge and a mop, and maybe send them to my house too, because mine could use a little bit of work. Tip number 3, take time out for self-care. Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's reading, taking a bubble bath, taking a walk, exercise is great, or if it's just sitting still and having some moments of quiet, even 15 minutes can make a big difference. Tip number 4, and hopefully you've heard this before, no is a complete sentence. Even during the holidays, even if it's supposed to be a fun activity, you can say no, and sometimes we need to. Number 5, and this is something that's sometimes difficult to do, distribute some of those chores and tasks. There are extra things that we need to get done, and if you're working with your family and you can distribute some of those tasks and chores, it'll make things a lot easier, a lot more pleasant for you, and take off some of the strain. Things may not be perfect. Refer back to tip number 1. So if, for instance, the lights aren't hung exactly as you want them to be, maybe the mac and cheese is a little drier than it would have been, that's okay. Remember the goal. Tip number 6, reflect on what's important to you. What are those traditions and moments that you really treasure? It might help to inform what to say yes to and what to say no to ensure that you're getting the rest that you need. What you need may be a little different from what I need to help protect my health during the holiday season. But we're approaching a really busy week, and I wanted to share my list so that you might be inspired to create a list of your own. My very best wishes to you and your family for a safe, healthy, and peaceful holiday season. Merry Christmas.